Who's hosting this thing?
I guess I'll be the host this time.
I don't give a shit, dude. Just introduce everybody
yeah,
to the podcast.
so
what's up?
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
This is the Squid Squad podcast, episode 2. Tonight we've got another new group of myself, Nick.
I'm Chris.
I'm Vinny.
And I'm Kaya.
And we've got an episode coming up for you guys. I have no idea what to talk about because I never actually thought of things to say for this one.
I mean, we never do.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Always just figuring it out.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we never come prepared, dude.
Improv, man.
We just come and show up, shoot the shit.
So yeah,
What's been going
off
on
the
in your
rails.
guys' lives?
I mean, I guess I could start like fucking Carlo and Caesar. Carlo has yet to be on the podcast, but he's another one of our buddies. They're doing a game jam, and they basically have 48 hours to make a game. And I've just been doing nothing. Like the only thing I can contribute is just music. So I've just been writing music like the past day and a half.
So
It's just that's all I've been fucking doing, dude.
Yeah, I
I-
saw like what you posted in like their channel, and it sounds like pretty legit.
I did appreciate it. I mean, I was fucking. I've never made music for a video game before, so it was really cool to try that for the first
Is
time.
that any different than like the regular type of music that you make? Like whenever you're just like recording for yourself?
I mean, like I've been writing a lot of emo lately, so it's very different from that. But I mean, I've dabbled in like post rock and stuff, and that's kind of what this is gonna be. It's gonna mainly just be like post rock type stuff.
I've never like really like dug into post rock as a genre. Like it's always something that's existed very like parallel to my life, and even I even know people that are like in like a post rock band, but like it's never anything that I've like really sunk any sort of teeth into. Like the furthest that I've ever come close is like Deaf Heaven, but that doesn't even like come close
Yeah.
to counting.
No.
Yeah.
So question. What is that?
Post rock.
Post rock.
Yeah, I mean, like, how's that like defined? I guess
It's rock, but like it came after.
right. I got that
like
much.
the name would imply. I mean, do you want me to? I'll
features?
try to explain.
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
It's kind of like it's like rock, but it's very like the tone is very kind of chill. It's more chill. It's like very slow, typically.
Very
And
melancholy.
very like yes, and like atmospheric kind of. It's very like moody.
Okay.
Usually
Yeah.
it's like long instrumentals
Mhm.
that just like set ambiance.
Right.
It's really relaxing.
Yeah, just very like pretty chilled out music.
Okay. Cool.
Really nice for like if you're like reading stuff or if you know you're gonna be reading something for a while. Like it's nice to put on in the background if you're like studying or something. You know.
Okay. So it's almost like the lo-fi of rock.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, that's a really good.
It's
way to describe
chill
it, yeah.
lo-fi rock beats to relax and study to. The genre.
Yeah,
Alright.
exactly, dude. Like straight up,
Sick.
that's what it is. Yeah,
But I mean, it's like it's really hard to kind of get into because I never like I think I might be one of like those weird types of people that like never just like has music on in the background. Like I have to be actively listening to music. I can't just put something on and just let it run its course.
I think I'm kind of in the same boat, to be honest. Like if I'm
what you're saying?
like if I'm driving, I can like listen to music and whatever. If I'm kind of like like doing something, I can like listen to music. So, but like there are some rare times where I can just kind of put on music just to listen to music. But it helps me kind of like almost enjoy it better if I'm doing something. If that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, 100%. And like I'll put it on whenever like I'm playing video games or something like that, but never just to like just that can. It's super weird. I don't know.
I find it actually very hard to focus on the music if I'm not doing something. Like,
Really?
I agree.
yeah, I
That's
think
the
that's just
problem.
my ADHD or whatever. But like, yeah, like I can like I said, there are times where I can do it if I really like dig the band, and especially when I was younger, I could do it a lot. But as I got older, it actually got worse. It's weird.
Yeah. I'd like I Are you the kind of person that like listens to music whenever they're playing games?
Sometimes it depends on the game because like
Right.
a lot of games I play, I have to really pay attention to what's happening around me. So if I'm playing Rainbow Six or if I'm playing Rust or something like that, and I can't hear footsteps, that's no bueno.
Right. Wait,
But
you have
if
to
it's
listen to footsteps in Rust?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Wait, do you know what Rust is,
I've
Chris?
never played Rust. I just know that it's a bunch of dudes and they're naked and they have rocks.
Basically.
No, but I mean, like you build like a base or whatever, and like your base can be broken into by fucking literally anybody if they have the materials.
Right, and like, can it be broken into while you're gone?
You're offline.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's
so
pretty much.
annoying.
It's like server side.
That's like 95 to like 98% like what people do for raiding is they won't online raid you because it's way too dangerous. Like the odds of them losing are exponentially higher.
That's so annoying. I would hate it.
Yeah.
I would hate to play a game where it's like, hey man, I just like did 20 like missions or whatever. I just did 20 quests. Right? Here's all of my loot. I'm gonna just like log off, and whenever I come back, I'm gonna have fucking nothing.
It's even better because you pretty much have, if you play Rust, you have to dedicate a week of time. Like, unless you just want to fuck around for like 20, 30 minutes and it's kind of whatever. But if you want to actually like make a base and like go and like do things, you have to play for the entire wipe. Otherwise, it's just like it's a waste of time. Like,
Right.
And like, what do you get at the end of it? Like, what's like the end goal?
being
Just
king dog on the hill or something like that.
being the guy with the biggest dick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's basically like what Lord of the Flies type shit.
I don't know what that is, but
I've heard of Lord of the Flies, but I'm not familiar.
It's like a book about like some kids that get stranded on an island and then become like tribal. Like, they just like
Actually, yeah, that's a very good description.
yeah.
that's crazy.
Because considering everyone acts like children, so yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh
dude.
hell yeah.
But even like that those building type games where a lot of it is just like survival. Like I've never really gotten into that. I know like The Forest is another game like that. Like Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ark's a pretty good analogy to Rust.
Yeah, the forest is different in that like it's not an online thing where people raid your shit. It's like it's a player versus enemy type game. So like, you and some friends can get together, and your enemies are like these fucking tribal motherfuckers. They're like cannibals on this island.
Okay.
So like you and your friends are working together, and like there's like a whole story. Like your kid gets kidnapped, and so like you can all work together to build this base and then kind of piece together the fucking like story and shit together.
Yeah,
it's really.
I mean, I think the last that I heard about that game was that there was just like some random latch and like that like finally got an ending or something, and it's like tied to some latch or something.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I remember hearing something about that. I never beat the campaign. I never beat the story.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
I know, Vinny, like you and I got like real close. Like
Yeah, we did. I don't know why the fuck we stopped. I don't remember why.
I think we just burnt out.
Probably. God, that game is so much fun though.
It
man.
is.
Fuck,
It's a lot of fun.
for real.
Any other games that like you've been like sinking your time into? Any of you?
Rocket League, even though I don't really like it that much.
Why the fuck you play it then, dude?
Yeah, like what do you mean you don't like it?
I play just to hang out, but it's like not really a very engaging or fun game. Like my entire life.
I feel like that's like sacrilege.
What do you mean? Like what about it is enticing?
I don't.
to you?
I mean, I don't play Rocket League, but everybody seems to love that game.
Right. Right.
Because it's like if you want like fast and technical gameplay,
Yeah?
like I did
Go
so
ahead.
much, I played Super Smash Brothers Melee for the last like 5 years. Literally the most technical, difficult fucking game I've ever played my entire life. It's so hard.
Dude, Nick, I can't wait till you come to Illinois so that I can wave dash all over you, dude.
Bro,
I don't know what the fuck that means,
Bro.
but I'm gonna do it around you.
I'm gonna dash dance around your ass and wave, shine, up, smash, double jump, cancel, nair.
Okay,
plane.
so all of those
Fucking-
words,
All right.
taken apart,
Yeah.
all of those words have a meaning to me. Like, double
Yeah.
jump, shine, cancel. You can put it. It doesn't sound like a legitimate word whenever you say it together.
Like double
Right.
double or like jump cancel shine or like nair plane, like drill shine,
Yep.
waveland, whatever.
See, I got the newest Smash.
Me
whatever,
too.
Whichever. And I was like practicing. I was playing Bowser Jr. because I was like, hey, this guy's pretty fun. And I took it to a friend's giving this year. Took my console or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I've been practicing for like a week. I feel pretty good. And they're like, they just shit on me real hard, and I was like, oh. I don't think I want to play this game anymore. I don't want to invest my time in this.
I have Ultimate, and I've been playing. Well, no, that's not true. I've not been playing. I played like a little bit of it whenever I first got it. They played as King K. Rool, and all I would do is like suck people in my musket and shoot them off the ledge. And that's the most fun I think I've had with Smash Brothers. All the times that I've played it, it's just getting people really mad. And like, I don't know.
That's fair.
I mean, it's crazy because for such a simple game, the skill cap is so high.
But yeah,
Like in that
that's
sense,
like,
it's a lot like Rocket League.
well, that's the
because-
thing with like all fighting games in general. I'm not saying that Smash Brothers is a fighting game. All I'm saying is that all of our fighting games are just like very simple concept that just has an insanely high ceiling for.
Yeah, it
Chris just muted his mic because his dogs are barking uncontrollably in the background.
but I guess to kind of elaborate on that too, it's games that have relatively simple mechanics that allow you to implement them in creative ways. I tend to have some of the highest and maybe arguably, I don't know how you would measure this, but better skill cap ceilings. Like you can tend to do more. Like the meta isn't as like narrow, but then again, like with Smash, I feel like there is kind of like I mean with fighting games in general, actually, the meta tends to be pretty narrowed down to like the top A-list characters or whatever.
Yeah, like at least in Melee, there are considered 8 viable characters that could win tournaments out of a cast of 26.
Yeah.
And they're like those 8 are just so much better than the rest of them.
Now,
But
is
there's
that
so much room for expression and creativity in the combo games and punish games and just how you focus on the game, how you play the game, that people, it's like an art form basically.
yeah?
Because there are just
It's
so
how,
many
how you
options.
approach it. So with there being like a small cast of outstanding characters, do you think that is a healthy way for fighting games to approach things? To like, because like, it seems like that has to be by design, right? Like they have to understand that like once this meta is set, like they can do things to change it. They could widen that scope. But do you think it's healthy to have a smaller A-list, celebrity kind of style thing, or do you think it should be a much wider spectrum of characters?
All right, what's up, guys? I'm back.
Yeah, we're just talking about roster size in fighting games. I definitely think that a smaller roster is better. At least in the sense of what we see in Smash Ultimate versus Melee is Melee has very few really viable characters, while in Smash Ultimate you've got 60 plus characters that you could use. And
I
that's,
think. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. I was just gonna say, in Melee, the way the mechanics work out, it makes each character incredibly deep. Whereas in Smash Ultimate, each character has fewer. There's less depth to each character, but there are more characters to play. So it becomes this more meta sort of counterpick game instead of just learning incredibly deep, specific details of each matchup. And I like
mean-
depth more so than variety.
Yeah, I guess. I think you could say that with like any fighting game. I think once you crank a certain like character pool up above a certain limit, like it just starts becoming redundant in my opinion. You see that a lot in Smash. You see that sometimes in Street Fighter, with like what's it called, the archetypal like warrior archetype in Street Fighter. I think they're like called Shotos. But like they're the Kens, the Ryus, the Kumas, the Gokens. Like they're just like inherently like the same character with like small like tweaks and balances to like make them different. And at that point it
Mhm.
really, like, I'm talking out of my ass because I'm like obviously no fighting game expert, but like a like a personal, what do you prefer to play as?
Hmm.
Do you think if adding a larger roster of characters becomes too much of a headache, perhaps making it so that there's some way players are able to distinguish themselves? So, like, if you had like, I don't know, I'm just gonna pick a random character because I don't really know too many fighting games or whatever. But like for like Smash, uh, if you have someone playing Pikachu, there's only really like kind of like limited ways to play Pikachu, right? You're limited to the moveset. But um, do you think there is a way for players to kind of put their own spin on things? Like, is there really like that? Correct. What am I trying to say?
You're saying is there like more freedom with certain characters,
Like if we're
given their limited moveset,
yeah, like
kind of put their own spin on it?
yeah, because like if you're dealing with like a small roster, it's like pretty soon you're gonna be watching just the same gameplay over and over again, right?
Right.
I mean, same move sets, same all this kind of stuff. So how do you think, or do you think there's a way for players to really kind of express their own styles and ways of like handling problems and situations and dealing with that, or is it kind of all just cookie cutter?
See, there's a very good example of that in Melee is Fox, because he's the most technically demanding character, but he's also the character with the most viable options. And you could watch two top level Fox players against the same opponent, and just by their play styles, they would look completely different. It would look like basically an entirely different game, because at that level, with that level of depth, there are so many strong options to choose from that you get your own signature sort of style just by which options you go for. And multiple styles could be just as effective. And
Mhm.
that ends up being like really visible at higher levels, specifically.
Is Fox the character that like ruins people's hands?
Yes, Fox is the character that has destroyed so many hands. Like, there's a top player called Hacks Money. He was a Fox player, and he was known for being the most technical sort of Fox main. And
Yeah.
he ended up with calcified tendons in both of his forearms.
God.
And it was so
Wow.
bad that doctors were telling him that he had to just stop playing. You can't use your hands. And he was adamant that he wanted to keep playing this game until he dies. So he actually had surgery to have these tendons removed so that he could still play the game. And in order to continue playing, instead of using a GameCube controller, he developed a sort of fight pad style controller
I've seen
that
this.
works with the GameCube. And that's how he plays now, like on this fight pad.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's called like the Smash Box or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah, right.
Like no, like I don't know. Personally, no game is like worth that much to me. Like
I guess. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
like I just like the sorry, but like the idea of just like ruining my hands and like looking at it and being like this game is literally shaving my appendages off. Like I can't. Like nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's pretty understandable, obviously, but just I guess to maybe do some devil's advocate here, if this is something that like you're really really passionate about, and it's something that also like brings in income, like if you
That's fair.
like you kind of
Yeah.
like almost at a certain point, like this is your life, you know,
Yeah.
like think about a musician, like if they had like somehow fucked up their hands, like they would probably do anything they can to like be able to play again.
Well, yeah, it happens a lot with vocalists and shit when they don't use the right technique. They fuck up their
Oh
voices.
yeah, like fucking the dude from Bring Me the Horizon, where like you listen to
Yeah, fucking Ollie.
if you listen to like their earlier music and they're trying to go like really deathcore, and he's like, it literally hurts to listen to. Listen to their newer stuff, and it's kind of more so tailored towards like him trying to sing to not like mess up his voice. Obviously, like musical direction plays a part in that. It's really insane.
Yeah, dude, you need to get some fucking lessons, you know?
Well, yeah, dude, everybody is on MySpace thinking that they could like be a singer, and then they end
I
up
know.
blowing out their voices. It happened so often back in the day. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. I don't know if any of you know the band Chelsea Grin, but
Yeah.
their lead singer, like, he sounded like a demon whenever he was younger. And then as like the years went on, and just like the wear and tear on his voice, the wear and tear on his body, like he literally sounds like a shell. Fortunately,
Fuck,
it sucks. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Also, I imagine when you're younger, like you don't really think of those kinds of consequences down the line.
Oh, of
you know?
course not.
Right.
You're like, dude, I'm in a
Yeah.
fucking sick band, and I get like hella chicks. I'm sure that's the only thing they thought about.
Yeah.
But oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no. Go.
No, I was just gonna say, like, on the note of that, like, is there any bands that you guys like listen to that like on like in that same vein? Like, whenever you were younger, they were so drastically different than the band that they are now.
Um.
And,
I got. Oh,
Well, you can go.
all right.
My bad.
That's fine. I gotta kind of confess something here. The bands I used to listen to, so the two I used to listen to the most were System of a Down and Pink Floyd.
Okay.
So they obviously, at least with Pink Floyd and even System at the time, like stopped making music. So I never had that experience. I've never listened to a band and like watched their development. I've had like that's been something more recent. But even then, like the bands I'm listening to now, like Vinny kind of got me into like the emo scene, and like this is like I'm discovering all this kind of for the first time. So
Oh, that's crazy. So, like, whenever you were younger,
Yeah.
did you not like listen to a lot of music?
see, I did it like I guess not actually. If I really got to be honest here, because like I would like I never really like knew like what to look for or what I liked in a sense. Like I kind of found like a handful of like songs or like I said, like I really it's just those two bands like I really kind of listened to. Like I was very very musically sheltered, I guess. But that being said, like growing up, like I grew up in a very like musical household. Like my dad was like did a lot of music stuff, and I was all around a lot of live bands. So I heard like a bunch of like stuff from like my dad's generation, but nothing that really clicked with me.
That's crazy. That's so
Yeah, that's
weird to
crazy.
me to think, because music has been such a mold in my life. Like just growing up ever since like I was really young. I mean, I don't play any instruments. I'll leave that to like the more talented squids. But
Eh,
but
go on.
but yeah, like I love music. I surround myself with it constantly.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
dude,
through my Spotify, and I don't even think I know of any bands that had like a really drastic change.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, like
I mean-
who do you have in mind?
I've
When you
got.
say-
I mean, so like for me, it's a fucking Japanese band that I've been listening to since I was like a teenager. One OK Rock. They fucking
Yeah.
They just used to sound like a pop punk band or whatever, like kind of emo. And like nowadays it's kind of just like more pop. They kind of got rid of like the harsh aspect of it, and it just kind of sounds more like cookie cutter fucking stupid shit. But I mean, you could also say the same about like I don't know, like Fall Out Boy. Like the newer shit is like really, it's kind of the same shit. It's like way more like poppy and like electronic.
Totally.
Or their older shit was fucking dope.
Well, I mean, the ones that I guess that I had in mind were like Deftones.
Oh yeah,
they
dude.
totally started
Deftones.
being like a complete like new metal band like in the 90s. Like now they're doing all this like dream pop like type shit, and then, like I'm totally here for it. I love it. I love both both sides. But even bands like Hundredth, they were a cookie cutter like metalcore band with like harsh vocals and chuggy riffs, and then one day they literally woke up and were like, we're just gonna start making shoegaze now. And it's like the sickest shit ever.
Yeah, it is.
It like I think that makes the most sense to me, and like I hate seeing bands like get stuck in like this weird rut, because even if I don't like your new stuff, or like I don't like the direction, I feel like I'd rather see that pump out like the same album over and over again.
Right. Yeah, dude, progression's always good. Like I do want to also just mention fucking Thrice. They like their like music direction has changed so much over the years, dude. Like with each release, it's unbelievable. It's incredible, like the kind of shit they put out. Because like they also used to be like kind of like a post-hardcore band, like but then they released like a pop punk record straight up, and then they kind of got more like alternative rock, and then they released these fucking 4 EPs that were like, some of them were folky, some of them were post rock. It's fucking wild, man. The shit they've done over the years.
Thrice, man. That's
kind of touched on like everything.
That's like such a band that like I've been surrounded by, but I've never dug into. And it's not that I dislike them. Like obviously, there's like songs that I've enjoyed, even songs that you've showed me, especially off of like those 4 EPs. But like I just never like sunk my teeth into them.
Yeah, there's a lot of material to kind of go over.
A lot to digest, yeah.
Yeah, for real, they have a lot of material, man. But I feel like they have like with them, I feel like there's at least like one release that like most people could probably enjoy, just because they've just gone through like so many changes over the years.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of on the topic, what are you guys' opinions of pop, just in general? Because it seems to be a genre that either gets shit on really, really hard or praised really highly, I think.
So, like, dude, there's good pop and bad pop, just like with everything else, you know?
Of course.
Like, I listen to fucking, like, Churches and, like, Pale Waves. They're, like, electronic, like, synth pop. They're fucking dope. And, well, like, okay, so Church's first album is dope. I don't like their other stuff much, but I like what Pale Waves are doing, man. Pale Waves are fucking sick. And, like, Electric Youth is really good. I also listen to fucking KKB.
Is that really pop?
I would call it that. Some of their stuff is very poppy.
I'm totally for it. I think more music in general is better.
Yeah.
The people that kind of like take this like weird moral high ground whenever it comes to like like I don't listen to like the traditional like mainstream like music is it's kind of dicks, and like I just kind of like
fucking stupid, man.
I kind of just like tune people like that out.
Yeah, you should.
But I'm here for it. Even like Caro Bonito and Charlie XCX that I kind of like enjoy. But it's not something that I on a regular basis like come back and find myself listening to constantly.
Yeah.
I feel like that pop is just such a saturated I guess genre. But granted, I'm not exposed to a whole lot of stuff, so this is coming from my little perspective. But it just seems like it seems like all the old bands that I was kind of familiar with either moved.
All the old
yeah, you cut out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You cut out there, Kaya.
Hang on.
All the old what?
Hang on. Let me give my recording a bit of audio or silence, and I can start up. I feel like older bands that I used to kind of like be somewhat familiar with Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, my internet's
robot.
My internet.
Hey, Kai, you're lagging, dude.
Hardcore lagging.
Gonna have to fix this in post.
Been a bot. He's been a bot the whole time.
Yeah, and Kai, try like leaving the call and then come back really quick. We'll just we'll edit this part out.
There we go. That did it.
That's a good idea.
So does pop rap count as pop?
Okay, I also closed out. No, that's not working either. Shit.
I think you're better now, right?
It's still saying.
Hear you. I can
Okay,
hear
there
you
we
now.
go. Yeah, I also closed out like Steam and a couple other things just to kind of help with that. That's weird.
Okay.
All right. Fuck. What was I gonna say?
Pop is such a saturated like genre.
Yeah.
what you were
Okay. Yeah. So it seems like
Shit.
it seems that older bands that had more of like a punk rock or rock kind of vibe has like kind of shifted more towards pop as like a way to kind of almost rebrand. I think what was the band you mentioned earlier? I'm sorry.
Fall Out Boy?
Yeah, Fall Out Boy. Like they kind of did that, and there's a couple of ones that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Like 182 hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, pop. It seems like such a just like an umbrella term to
Yeah,
describe everything that's like kind of like mainstream, I guess. That it's like, what is necessarily like pop music anymore? What is just like there? We have such defined terms for so many different genres that I feel like pop is like this really archaic like term that we used to describe like relevant music.
Yeah, I feel like that's what kind of like all the genres are. Like you use like rock and metal and like alternative. Like those are kind of like if you're looking at like folders on a computer, those are like the main ones, and then you go into the subcategories to get more specific about what you're talking about.
That's very true.
Yeah. I never understood like the people too that like they shy away from doing that. Like, oh, like you're calling it some like bullshit like post rock or like fucking shoegaze. Like, what are you doing? Just fucking call it this. And it's like, dude, I don't understand that because like you're not gonna know what I'm talking about if I just say, hey, there's this cool rock band I'm into. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it's not like
There's so many different styles of that. Like, what does that even mean, dude? You can't just say that. You know, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Are you telling me that you don't listen to rock music, dude?
Oh, I do, but I just listen to a lot of like subcategories of it. You know. Yeah, 'cause I mean,
saying you
that's
listen
what
to
language is
alt
for,
rock
dude.
is like saying you listen to music.
Yeah.
Alt rock is the least
Right.
descriptive description of anything that exists.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the fuck I mean by that, dude. It's
What the fuck even is alt rock? Yeah, like can we just go into that for a second? Like what the fuck is
I
that?
mean, I don't know. What is rock then? Like, right? Like, what? I don't know.
Well-
Like,
And actually, how do you define a genre to begin with?
well, just definitely by the sound. I mean, like the style of music it is. There are very like telltale signs of what can be described as what. Like, you look at emo, right? Obviously, emo. Like, I'll just use that as an example because it's very specific.
Right.
It's a lot of it is really the style of vocals that you hear, the way they sing specifically. It's like very like that kind of defines what emo is, and the guitar riffs and stuff too are kind of second to that, I think. But it definitely plays a big part. But I think the vocals specifically are really the vocals and lyrical content of emo. It kind of like makes up what it is, you know.
What's interesting,
And then you look at like math rock, and then that math rock is more about the guitars. Like it's all it is. It's the guitars and like the time signatures and stuff defines what math rock is.
Math rock's all sorts of weird. I remember whenever I was
It
younger,
is.
I used to think that the Dillinger Escape Plan
Oh,
formulas to make their time signatures. Just because,
Oh, yeah.
just because I know fucking nothing about like music and like
Right.
and, like general how to write music or what even a time signature is.
yeah.
that I was
dude,
like,
I mean, their music is fucking
I was
chaotic.
like, oh, math rock, dude. They probably like use like formulas, like fucking figure this shit
oh,
out.
that's
Yeah, dude. That's what I meant. Yeah.
no, dude.
It was like a fucking.
Got nothing to do with actually doing math
Yeah,
equations.
dude, like fucking math formulas, dude. I was a little fucking
No, dude.
dweeby ass 13-year-old.
I mean, I guess by the sound of it, you would kind of think that if you didn't.
like
know
2
it.
plus
I mean,
2.
that's actually what I assumed, like, to begin with.
Yeah, no,
2
that's
plus
not
2
what it
is
It's just
4 plus over
Yeah.
4, dude. 4. Hell yeah, brother.
Sure, dude.
Shit.
Yeah. No. Oh man, that's really funny.
I mean, it just
No, it's just like
just like a general
weird time
question.
switchers.
Um,
Hmm.
if you had to like, what is the weirdest band that you guys have in like your Spotify library or your music library in general?
Definitely, like a lot of the Japanese shit I have is probably the weirdest.
Is that like really?
I think so. Like some of it is very. Some of it's really. Some of it gets kind of weird.
Like
But,
weird how?
That's up to you.
Like you'd hear it and go like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, it is kind of
Okay.
up
But,
to you. Too. But,
like, what do you think makes it weird, Vinny?
shit, my voice is fucked, huh? My bad.
Well, dude, we're out
Good.
here.
Yeah, we are out here. I mean, some of it is just like, I guess it's not really weird. Like, it's just music, dude. But, I listen to some fucking weeby ass shit sometimes.
Listen to like
That
weird
would be
shit,
kinda-
like Sleepy
I
Time
know,
Gorilla
like-
Museum, or
No, like I don't know. I don't really listen to anything kind of out there like that.
Like that out there.
You know?
Have you
Yeah, like
have
not
you
really,
have
no.
you ever like dived into like Japanese noise rock?
Japanese noise?
Yeah, man. Like
I've heard a little bit of it. I mean, I'm not a fan of noise because it's straight up just.
it's
noise.
not like noise
Listen to
noise.
that.
It's not gonna be like this isn't like some
I know.
Merzbow like pulse demon type stuff.
No.
Where it's literally just static.
No, I know, but like even like because KKB kind of dove into noise a little bit on their latest.
That is
record.
that
Yeah,
is
a little bit
so
of
I
that.
don't enjoy Caro Caro Bonito a lot, but
Yeah.
their newest project is like the one thing that I can be like, okay, I can fuck with this.
That album is super dope, and it's because it's definitely a very different style than the previous.
But like only acting where like it cuts into like that really weird noise section.
in the
Yeah,
middle of it, right?
I really enjoyed that.
Dude, I like that part, especially when the vocals go like super harsh and shit, dude. I think that was super dope. But I don't like the ending of that song where it just kind of goes off the rails and it's like, fuck, man. I was not a fan of that, but the middle section was dope. I like that.
I'm gonna have to send you some stuff, Vinny.
Sure. I mean, I'm open to listen to it.
I mean, I don't know if you'll like it, but it's Japanese and it's noise and it's
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll try that.
What about you, Nick? Anything like overtly weird that like sticks out?
the overtly weird stuff. I would say, well, I've been nonstop listening to this girl Caroline Polachek.
You've been posting about her a lot. I've
I've been posting her
Yeah.
nonstop. I'm in love.
I've noticed.
You're right.
Just the best, like, it's like pop music. It's like slightly electronic pop music. And I'm just absolutely in love.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. It's not really like out there. It's not really.
Yeah, I
weird.
listened to that one song that you mentioned with the really long title.
Yeah.
God, I forgot what it was called.
So hot, you're hurting my
That's
feelings.
the one. That's exactly the one.
That's the one.
We talked about that in the last podcast.
Oh, did you? What'd you guys say?
Yeah. We weren't talking about
just-
the song really, but
Just
like
that,
you
like,
mentioned
that feeling.
Oh, dude,
Right.
100%. But no, you've been like
Yeah.
really like
Yeah.
messing with her a lot. Like you've been like listening to her a lot, trying to get us to like listen.
Yeah, because, like, the two songs I keep posting by her are the ones I run to on the treadmill, and I've never run faster in my life.
Yeah.
But besides that, I've been listening to a lot of, like, Zach Fox, Kenny Beats. Like, that stuff's not really out there at all.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
Zach Fox doesn't have a lot of music, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I just want to say, Vinny, Kaya, if you guys do not know who Zach Fox is,
I do.
I do not.
oh my God,
He's fucking
he is
hilarious.
absolutely hilarious.
He's so funny.
I love that song so
He's
much.
so there's this, to give you like a really quick rundown. There's this record label called Awful Records. It's headed by this like artist called Father. It's very like underground hip hop. I don't know if like hip hop's even like anything that you kind of like mess with at all.
Yeah, a little.
but it's like really underground hip hop, kind of weird hip hop. And one of their graphic designers literally would do logos and artwork for them. His name is Zach Fox. He went viral this year. It was this year because he was friends with this producer named Kenny Beats, who has a internet show called The Cave, where he invites rappers onto the show, makes them a beat in like 10 minutes, has them go into the booth and freestyle. So he invites Zach Fox, this comedian, artist, fellow on the show. And it's like literally the funniest 15 minutes of my goddamn life.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny. I laughed so hard at that video.
It's absolutely fun, like hilarious. But I'll make sure to send it to you after the podcast is over. But I love Zach Fox. He's absolutely hilarious. He has a song with Father called Family Function that recently got a video. That's absolutely hilarious. And yeah, man, the beam kicked in.
Right. Hell yeah.
I love that guy. What about you, Kaya? Anything overtly weird that's in your...
You want to know something overtly weird?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a SoundCloud.
Well, even
Damn.
I don't either.
That's not too weird.
But a Spotify?
I'm sorry, I said you. That's what I meant.
You
I
don't have a Spotify. Okay, that is kind of weird. So do you just pull a Vinny and just like download all your music?
No, I go on YouTube, and if I find something I like, I kind of go down the YouTube rabbit hole. But quite honestly, like Vinny's just been linking me shit, and then I've been like, "Dude, this is sick," and he goes, "Yeah, I know."
Fucking the KC, dude.
Okay, see, that's me.
Like I gotta say, like it's kind of, I don't really. I mean, this is kind of weird to say, I guess, but I don't really know how to like find music, if that makes sense. Because I try to like look for new things, but I'm like, all right, how do I do this? Like, how do I even begin? Like, I don't even know where to start. And it's like I kind of like go off of like I go down the YouTube rabbit hole, so I can kind of like branch off and like find other things in like similar genres or like whatever, which has been good. But like, I don't know much about other genres of music. Like, I've never been, exposed to a whole lot.
So I'll say like how I've go about finding new music. Like with when I was first getting into emo, I would just go to YouTube and just type in like emo mixtape because there's so many people on YouTube, and I would just listen to them like while I'm folding my clothes and shit. And that's actually how I discovered Oso Oso, because I just remember I was fucking folding my clothes, dude, just listening to this mixtape, and then I heard Shoes, the sneaker song, come on. And then once that verse hit, like I stopped folding my clothes and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this, dude? And I was like, oh, Oso Oso, I'm gonna have to check them out. And then now they're like my favorite band ever. So like, I mean, like I'll do that. I'll just like look up mixtapes, or like if I'm really into a band, I'll look up like the members and see what other bands that the members of that band have been in the past. And then I'll give them a listen. And it's just kind of like a rabbit hole in itself. Doing that,
yeah,
1,000%. The associated acts and stuff.
What was that like for you, Vinny? Because I know for a good minute you were listening to a lot of like progressive metal. You were listening to a lot of what is it, like Jen or whatever.
Oh,
when did you just like branch off of that and just like start?
I remember. So I don't remember when I started, but. Yeah, I used to be super into Gent. I would just listen to progressive metal like Periphery or my shit, and just fucking. That's like all I used to listen to. I used to be in like a progressive metal band.
I still have your what's it called? The Human Abstract. I still have your Human Abstract
the CD.
Yeah,
Digital Veil.
I still have that.
Okay, see, like I don't listen to prog metal much anymore, but that album still fucking. Slaps,
it really does, dude. Faust or whatever. What's the name of that song? Faust. Yeah,
Faust,
dude, that song slaps.
Yeah. That song is. Oh man, that album is so good, but I don't know. Like I remember over the years, like I think One OK Rock was actually one of like the first like non-metal bands I got into, because I was kind of starting to get into Japanese music when I was a teenager, as I was like getting more and more into anime and shit. And I remember like I would listen to them and I would be like, oh, this is pretty like catchy and stuff. But I remember like whenever the Japanese would hit, I would kind of be turned off by it. But like over time, I just kind of got more used to it and I got more into it. And then like I kind of like discovered. Like, so obviously I knew about Fall Out Boy growing up, but I kind of was not into them when I was in school and stuff. So like I heard like the From Under the Cork Tree album, and I was like, "Yo, this is fucking really good, man! Like, what the hell have I been doing? You know, like it's just straight up ear candy. Like it's just fucking banger after banger. Everything is catchy as fuck. It just makes sense, dude. Like this is really awesome to listen to. It gets me fucking
Unironically, Panic at the Disco's "A Fever You Can't Sweat Out" is 100% one of those albums. Like every single song on that album is so fucking infectious and catchy, and I love it so much.
I think I listened
I
to
never-
that album actually.
Yeah, I never actually got into them. I need to check them out more. Like I've heard a few songs here and
That's-
there, but I never. Like,
That's really the only album that I genuinely enjoy for them. Anything after that, that's whenever like Panic at the Disco, the band left, and it was just Brendan Urie, I think. Brendan Urie. I don't know.
The singer.
Yeah,
right?
the singer. He is Panic at the Disco. But for that first album, he had like a whole band with him.
Yeah, okay. I did actually listen to this album. I actually got into them pretty heavy for like a few months, either early this year or late last year. Obviously, I knew of them when I was like younger, kind of heard like a couple of their hits come on the radio, kind of thing, but never pursued them.
Their new
About you,
pop
Nick,
music
is there any
really, really
specific
bad.
like realm of music that you really stuck with for like a good chunk of your life before like branching off somewhere else?
I usually get stuck with one artist at a time, and then, like, for example, I could like trace back. My first real big artist was Green Day,
Oh hell yeah,
like
brother.
American Idiot.
uh,
So that kind of imprinted me for the first like 5 years of my music career or whatever. And then big Jimi Hendrix fan for
Mhm.
another couple years. Then Devin Townsend. for the
There's like
next
a
couple
Devin
years.
Townsend song like I enjoy, but for the most part, like all of his music seems like really abstract.
It's weird because
Definitely
he has
interesting.
a whole bunch of like he really tries to make music in different genres,
Yeah.
and he's got albums with like really really crushing heavy metal. He has sort of experimental not like noise, but he's got like an ambient album. He has a what's the word? There's like a word. It's like entirely instrumental and it's like kind of experimental. He's got albums like that. He's got like kind of pop metal albums, some more acoustic types. So he's done a lot. And
yeah, what's that album with that song? Like he's got a song called Kawaii. I remember.
yeah, that's
like-
off.
You know what I'm talking about?
Kawaii,
Like the Japanese word for cute.
let me see.
Yeah.
Kawaii.
It's off an
Well, it's
album
like one of his
called
newer albums,
Ghost.
Yeah, that was
released,
the
I think,
one.
Like 2014.
That's a
or
really-
something.
Really, really, really chill album. Like it's really
Super
fucking atmospheric and chill.
really
Yeah.
atmospheric.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh
the
my
album right before that, Deconstruction, it's like this ultra technical, crazy, super busy metal. Holy moly.
Yep.
What's
Wow,
what's
something-
that like really popular Devin Townsend song?
Oh, shit. The one with about the river flowing.
I don't
right?
know.
Where the river flows. or
Kingdom.
whatever.
Oh,
Kingdom.
Fuck.
Oh, Kingdom.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
that song is
He's
so
the sickest
sick.
song of all time.
Dude, that song is sick.
That's the
was-
only
that
Devin
was-
Townsend song I know.
God, that.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different one.
Apart from, I
That
know
song was
he
dope.
had a band called Strapping Young Lad.
Mhm.
They have a song called Love that I really enjoy, and
heard
Kingdom.
it.
But apart from that, those are the only two things that I really know by him. Really.
Yeah. Those are really distinct songs in his catalog, I think.
Right.
But there's I don't know, there's a lot to it, and he's touched on a lot of genres. Depending on if you like his lyrical material or not,
Right.
like that could definitely make or break. Especially also his vocal style. He has like a pretty exaggerated way of singing,
Mm-hmm.
but I was super mega into it for like all of high school and some of college.
Yeah, I remember seeing a video of him tracking vocals. Like he was just sitting at a fucking desk with the mic in his hand,
Like,
and it's just like,
ripping it
"Fuck,
up.
dude." Yeah, like, dude, his voice is powerful as fuck.
Yo,
dude.
I have a confession to make, dudes.
Yeah.
I I don't give a fuck about lyrics. So I mean, there are lyrics that I enjoy that I think are like super sick or whatever
Yeah.
that like stand out to me. But like for the most part, lyrics are the last fucking thing that I'd look at.
No, me too.
Like I don't give a fuck because I mean I guess for the most part it seems like they're not meant for me. Like the artist like expressing themselves very clear and concise way. And if I happen to latch onto them and like if they happen to like hit me, like that's super sick. But for the most part, like I don't give a fuck what you're saying. You could be saying absolutely nothing. But as long as it bops, like as long as the melody is like good, as long as the music is good, like here for it.
I mean, I used to be like that. And with a lot of, I don't really know what changed, but at some point I was just like, wait, some of these lyrics are like kind of hitting me.
No, 100%. I'm not saying that's never been the case or that there's never been like words that have like really stuck out to me because of course like everybody's gonna have that. But I guess I surround myself with a lot of people who like that is like the first thing that they look at. Like that is like the number one on their list. It's just kind of crazy to see the dichotomy where it's like I've always felt like the weird person out, like the weird one out. Whenever I'm like, dude, that is the last thing that I look at.
Yeah, for me too, because I don't know, like it kind of has to pass. It has to, like before I start caring about the lyrics, it has to pass like the initial checks, right? Like the music has to sound good. It's got to be catchy, and then I'll listen to the lyrics, and then if the lyrics are very good, then like I enjoy it more.
Yeah, of course.
But right,
that's just I've always felt like the weird one out, I guess.
no, I don't think that's weird. I'm the same way.
I think it's interesting because maybe it's because I've been intentionally trying to focus more on like the people side of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or because I've spent less time listening to the music itself. Like now, whenever I'm looking for music, I'm either going through like Spotify Discover, or when I'm swiping on Tinder, I steal the songs out of people's bios. Yeah. So a lot of the time, I'm not giving that much thought to the actual music. I'm just like listening to the lyrics and the general vibe. So I've drifted away from actually listening to the music over the lyrics.
Nick, really quick.
If there's any? Yes.
What is your Tinder anthem?
Oh God.
Good question. I shot it with the class.
Honestly, I don't know if I have one.
How do you not have one?
You don't have one? How do you not have one?
I'm looking right now, checking my phone right now.
You don't know what it is?
No, I don't know what it is. Bro, I made my account like 2 months ago and never even looked at my own page since then.
Hell yeah.
You think I'm getting swipes on Tinder
brother.
right now? Are you kidding me?
I mean, you wouldn't know, right? Because you're not fucking opening it.
I have a buddy. Oh wait, did you?
What is it, Nick?
My Spotify anthem is "Up Down" by T-Pain.
Oh.
Let's fucking get it, boys.
Like, yeah, hey, do you want to come back to my place and listen to some T-Pain with me?
T-Pain.
I have a friend.
T-Pain.
I have a friend who whose Tinder bio, well, for the longest time, his Tinder anthem was a song by Danny Brown called "I Will," where the entire lyrical content was about eating the box. And his like, oh God, I forgot. His bio must have been something along the lines of looking to die between some thick thighs. And it's like, yo, man, like I wish I had that kind of like energy to like put that out there, to like put myself out there like that.
Right.
I mean, I guess there's nothing left to it but to do it.
Yeah, it's like literally like if you swipe right, like you know exactly what you're getting into. Like literally, you know, like There's no middle ground. He said he got him some matches, so I'm for it.
I can imagine. That's damn. That's bold.
He's just putting it out there.
Like, what's
Yeah,
even the? I don't know the dude side of Tinder. Like, I haven't really like looked at other dudes' profiles to see like what they do. But I don't know.
I mean, I don't think most people do, right?
I would hope not.
Yeah, I think
I mean, the smart thing to do would be to do that because then you see
Like your competition.
Like what your competition.
perspective. Yeah,
I
so
know-
you know what's going on.
I know it's very common to put like your height, and then like where you stay. I don't know if you're really desperate, you could put something like, I read this online. This is not my joke, but
Fucking
like looking for the Pam to my gym or whatever. You're all set to go.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, that shit's so fucking lame.
Yeah.
I know, like, when
wildest
I
shit I've heard is people like posting pictures of their pay stubs.
Wow. That's bold.
Like, yeah, I make money. Yeah, oh yeah.
Super like me if you want to see my bank account. That's man.
I mean, hey, it works, I guess. I know, like, I had a Tinder for all of like a week, and I'm not really good at like the online interaction. I can be okay face to face, but like it's too impersonal. I don't like that shit. But my name's kind of weird. If you read it, it's spelled Kaya, so you can kind of get a couple different interpretations. Kaya being the most popular. So it's just like, the only thing I put was like, I have a weird name and you're probably gonna say it wrong, and that was it. And I got like 6 matches off of that.
Really?
Nice.
It's like really good.
God, I had a Tinder for a very, very short time. I think 'cause I'm always wearing a hat. My bio was something along the lines of like, if you take off my hat, I look like Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls.
Dude, hell yeah.
So I mean, it worked, I guess, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Tinder is never the place to go, in my opinion.
Definitely takes a personality type to be on Tinder.
You say you are, or you're
One that
not?
I don't. I do not have that. It's a personality type that I do not have, and you need it. You need it to be on Tinder.
I mean, you have to have like some really thick skin.
And be super superficial.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
It is what it is, though.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. I've heard like some people argue that like Tinder and like dating sites have like ruined the natural like way that we're supposed to be or some shit like that, or how we're supposed to match up, or it destroys relationships or whatever. Which maybe there is some like, is it tangential? Is that the word? I don't know. Like maybe there's some like flake of truth to that, but like I don't know. I don't think it's like the fall of society or whatever. I think people.
I don't think so.
I think we've been horny monkeys for a long fucking time, and you know, it's just an easy.
do what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, man,
Dude.
like,
yeah, dude.
It's just a tool,
that
man.
like entire thought process is just kind of like saying that we can't like grow as a society. We can't like adapt to like what like our new technologies are, and it's just kind of stupid. It's kind of like being like, oh yeah, man, like you just have to walk everywhere because like we never had cars back in the day.
Hey, like,
Right, exactly.
dude, what are you doing there? Oh, like I took this stick and put a rock on it, and like I'm now hitting things with it. It kind of works.
Nah, use your hands.
what?
Boonga, boonga.
No, use your hands, you moron.
Yeah, so it's just like it's kind of
I
just
think-
dismissing like societal growth, and it's like really dumb.
Right.
Yeah, I think it takes a what is it? It's appeal to history kind of stuff where it's like, oh, we've been doing it for like this way for generations. You know, we should keep doing it that way. But it's like, okay, you can take that logic and apply it to slavery. You can take that logic and apply it to sexism and like misogyny and all that kind of stuff. All things that are objectively like not good. I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm kind of weird when it comes to morals, so I don't know if I can really say objectively, but you know, I think universally accepted that it's not generally good to enslave people or, you know, to treat your spouse like in a
An inferior like partner.
yeah, like I'm superior. I'm superior to you. You know.
I don't know, dude. I kind of like. I don't want to say that there's any objectivity and like subjectivity, but I kind of find that hard to believe whenever it comes to stuff like slavery and shit like that. Like, that's objectively like terrible.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very hard for me to argue against that because I agree with you. But I guess to kind of do the whole devil's advocate thing, because I don't know, it's kind of fun for me. You could argue outcomes that if we enslaved this group of people, you know, for any arbitrary reason, just because it's easy to do so, and then we use their slave labor to advance society to like great bounds because we're not like paying a labor force or something, you could make some kind of weird twisted argument that it's actually like a moral good, like the harm you're doing is outweighed by the good that you're doing. I couldn't make that argument. Like even now, like I'm kind of like it doesn't feel good to say.
I was gonna say it's a concern.
Yeah, no, it's really it's hard. It's very, very difficult. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, morals are weird for me.
Well, you know, more on Kaya supporting slavery at 10.
Yeah. You heard it here.
I'm now announcing my candidacy. 2020.
Kaya 2020. No, it's just fucking crazy. Even that whole like the ends justify the means thing.
Yeah,
That's so gross to me.
it is.
Me too.
It is.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Because it doesn't like answer the question to what extent, and it's a slippery slope. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, 1000%. Well, I'm not a huge comic book junkie. I've never claimed to be a huge comic book junkie, but there is one story that I kind of can't help but think of, which is why Doctor Doom is the way that he is. Before I completely like fuck this up, I just want to like. That's why I was kind of talking about the comic book junkie thing. But I swear that I remember hearing this tale about Doctor Doom looking into the future, and he saw millions and millions of different outcomes, and the only one where society has any point of surviving is where he is the absolute ruler of all of the lands. It's kind of like his character motivation for why he is the way that he is. And I always thought that was like super interesting, but like super fucked up.
Yeah, Doctor Doom's actually a pretty interesting character. I don't know a whole lot about him. I wasn't like I've read some comics. I'm not like a Marvel or DC fan specifically or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did a little bit of like kind of like looking into his character, and basically, he's a narcissist. Like that's his character type,
Right.
per se. And I guess a little bit of like this is kind of like a little side thing first before I get into it. But the whole like thing with the mask, originally, the reason why he wears it or had it permanently branded to his face was because he was horribly disfigured in his eyes. Like his perfect complexion was fucked up, and all it was just a little scar on his cheek. And because of that, he couldn't get over that, and he then branded his mask onto his face, permanently disfiguring him.
That's crazy.
So putting what you said into that light, into that context, of course he's going to see like the outcome he wants to see. He wants to see where I'm the supreme ruler. Everything works because of it, and because I'm leading a dictatorship, everything works properly the way I see it, the way I like it. You know, basically, it works because I say it does. I don't know the full context of the story you're referring to, but yeah, that would be a little take I have on it.
Yeah, dude, that's super fucking. That makes a lot of sense. I wish I could find Like I wish I just had that like nugget like in my back pocket so that I could like go into it. But I remember hearing that once like a couple years ago and thinking it was like super interesting. But even then, like you don't. Do you read? Have you read any like specific like major stories like Watchmen or anything like that?
No, the two that I've read uh, um, are 100 Bullets and Deadly Class. Those are probably my two favorite comic
Okay,
books.
never heard of either of those. So I think you're you're more well versed in this than I am.
Okay. So I guess to do a recap um, of them both, like fuck. So 100, they're both really really good. I highly recommend them.
Right. Just basic
I
synopsis. We don't.
Yeah, no, of course. Excuse me. So 100 Bullets, the basic take is there's this dude who's like a super secret agent or whatever, and he goes around to people giving them a case with a handgun and 100 bullets of like 100 like untraceable bullets. Like no matter what is done to these, like no matter what analysis they get put under, they can never be traced to like anything. And he in one like little story, he goes to this mother uh, who her daughter like ran away from home, and like has been missing for like years. And he goes up to her and he's sitting down with her at her work. She works as a waitress, and he's talking to her and he goes, "Hey, so like your daughter, she ran away. She went to the city. She ended up getting picked up by a pimp, forcibly addicted to heroin. Ended up being forced to like be a like underage prostitute, and eventually like OD'd like in the streets and like froze to death. Pretty much, like no one gave a damn. And it's revealed that her husband or it's revealed that the reason why she ran away was because her husband was molesting her, and like she ran away from that, didn't want to be around that, and so she ends up killing the husband. And so there's like
Fucking spoiler alert, huh?
yeah, it's whatever. It's not. Trust me, that's not any like major plot. That's like a little side thing. But there's a bunch of stories like that. Like there's one that involves the Kennedy assassination. There's one involving, oh crap, I can't think of any others off the top of my head actually. But the main arc is this guy is trying to get back at like this crime syndicate, because I guess the way things work in that universe is like there's an oligarchy, isn't an oligarchy? Bunch of people collaborating. Yeah. Just a bunch of crime syndicates. Like they have their hands deep into politics, everything. They pretty much run shit in the U.S. And he used to be kind of working for them in a sense, as like a shadow organization. And he hid all his agents for whatever reason. I don't want to get too far into it because I can't remember all the details, but fantastic fucking comic. And the other one I'm reading, like I was saying, is Deadly Class, which recently got turned into a TV series. And that whole premise is this: an orphan kid who's like living on the streets gets picked up by a gang of basically assassins in training, and gets introduced to a school where the fuck, what is it? He gets introduced to this like basically it's a high school for assassins, and he's going through high school, going through all the high school shit, but everyone is a psychopath.
Right.
And it has some phenomenal character development, great art. The writing's fantastic. I've bought every issue I can get my hands on. I'm infatuated with it.
And it's ongoing.
Yeah, and fucking
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
very random. Henry Rollins is in the show. Like, he just shows up.
Word?
Yeah.
I love Henry
He's
Rollins.
fucking in it. Yeah. Yeah. No, me too. But yeah, he's just like he's in the show, like out of nowhere. Fucking.
I fucking hate Black Flag, but I fucking love Henry Rollins.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't give a shit about like the music he put out, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very much actually. It's set in like the early '80s, I want to say. When was Reagan in office? Fuck.
Fucking yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, like
But wasn't
'70s,
Bush
'80s.
Reagan 84.
I know that his whole like the main protagonist is I think it's called Marco or Marcus, yeah, and his whole thing is his parents died in like pretty much a freak accident where a crazed schizophrenic jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge and lands on him.
Oh, word.
And basically, because Reagan closed down all the mental institutions, there's a flood of people who should not have been out on the streets. And he blames Ronald Reagan for their death. And he goes, I'm going to kill Ronald Reagan. Like, I'm going to assassinate him. That's his whole, like, early, like, character motivation.
Damn, word. That sounds super interesting. And how many how many issues are out? You know?
I buy them by like the collection. So like I don't know how many single issues, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm on the 8th book or 7th book now.
Oh, word. Yeah. Are they pretty big?
Yeah. They're like, oh boy, I want to say they're like 6 or 7 issues combined, something like that. Like, because like you know, comics come out in like those like little like 12-page or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I know the longest. I think the longest series that I read already might have been Pun Pun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I don't read
shit.
like long wind.
Yeah. I still gotta get caught up on Berserk, but I mean, I've been reading The Witcher, so it's on hold right now.
Well, no, I meant like more just like comic books. I'm not talking about like books.
Oh,
Hi, have you ever read Pun Pun?
no, I told you about it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I have. No.
No, you haven't. No, you would know.
You would know if you have.
It's a really fucked up story.
I highly recommend it. Get Vinny to fucking let you borrow those books because holy shit.
I mean, yeah, it's a ride, dude. It's a fucking ride, dude. That fucking book.
It is. And whenever it's super funny because everybody always has like the same like reaction to people talking about it. My best friend Keenan, he's the one that was kind of trying to get me to read it, and he was talking about it with my friend Linda. They were talking about it, and they were like both, "Oh my god, this book is so intense! Like, it's so crazy. It's like a roller coaster of emotions." And I was thinking, like, man, this book ain't shit. Like, it's gonna be fucking fine. Like, I've read some shit. Like, I've seen some shit. Like, I'll be fine. And then like it punched me in the gut. And then we got Vinny to read it. And he same fucking thing.
I was like, yeah, dude, fucking like you guys are all like you're full of shit. Like I'll be all right, dude. It's not you're making it out to be this fucking thing that's gonna make me feel like shit, and it's not.
It's not. I'm gonna be fine.
Then I read it. And I was like, yo.
But it like to not like go into like great detail, but it's I guess it's slice of life.
Yeah, it's like a coming of age story
about a young boy, who's drawn as a bird.
You're right.
So in the world, he is a boy. Like he's just like a general, like he's a kid, like a regular person. But in the eyes of the reader, he's drawn as like a little bird.
His whole family is like that too. His family are all birds and shit.
So it's like really funny to see like this young boy that like deals with like puberty. He deals with like virginity. He deals with like his first love, his first heartbreak. Like watching him grow up to become like a man and to see like the kind of man that he becomes. But it's a fucking gut-wrenching story, and it's an amazing one.
Yeah, he also has a very like a very complicated relationship with his family too. It's really interesting. Yeah. It's fucked up, dude. It's such a good story though.
I highly recommend it. If there's anything that I would ever recommend graphic novel wise, it would be that and Watchmen. Love Watchmen.
Right.
Yeah, Watchmen. I watched the movie. I don't want to say obviously, but yeah, a couple of friends of mine were like really trying to hype me into reading comics, but I just never got around to it.
I mean, it's really good. Like super super good, and I think I don't know, it kind of puts like the. I don't want to say that the movie the Watchmen movie was bad. Very much not. Especially the actor that played Rorschach, he did an amazing job. The actor that played like Doctor Manhattan, like being so like lifeless and like cold. It's an amazing movie. But there's just something about the comic books that like can't really replicate screen, which like kind of the issue
Yeah,
with like
agreed.
a lot of like movie comic book adaptations for movies.
Yeah, no, I think and we kind of talked about this on I think it was podcast 0, but where we talked about video games being hard to translate into
Oh.
movies.
Yeah,
Right.
And I think comic books fall into that same kind of
one
thing
thousand
where
percent.
yeah, because you're specifically writing for a type of media that has a much different interaction to it. You know, like the thing about like picking up, like I'm not a reader. I don't really enjoy reading books, but comic books I can actually sit and read a comic
Right.
book. I can't sit and read like a normal like book. But the one thing I've always liked about even just like holding books is just the tactile feel to them, turning pages, like even like a lot, like I've heard this before where people even talk about like the smell of a book and like things like
Right.
that. Like this
Yeah.
this whole like there's something about it that just draws you in. When I get a good comic book in front of me and I can sit and read it, like there's just like I'm glued to that. Like I'll read through like an entire book of Deadly Class and then be like, fuck, I have nothing else to read for the next like couple months until the next one comes out.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, are you do you like those like comic book movies that are coming out?
Like the Marvel
Yeah,
movies and stuff like that. Yeah, I got kind of burnt out on them, to be perfectly honest. I really enjoyed them, and I think they're good. I just never stuck with it through the end.
There's
you
like-
know, I never.
There's like a shit ton of them, man.
Yeah, it's almost too much. I feel.
Yeah,
Marvel movies have been going on for what, like 12 years now? Like it's
Yeah.
been forever.
Mhm.
like I was watching.
They crank out like
I was watching like a channel unbox like the like it's like the Infinity Saga. It's like a box set of like all of the movies, that like all the MCU movies that have come out since like the MCU started.
Mhm.
And it's like jarring, man. Like the box is like massive and they're on like tiny slivers, and it makes you like just realize it's like, oh, this started with like Iron Man, like that first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
And even I think after that, what was it, the Edward Norton Hulk movie?
Mhm.
Like, and it's just like, wow, that feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's generations ago.
Yeah, and like not to even mention like the attempts they had before then too. Like the Hulk movie before.
I
Ed
used to
Norton,
love that fucking
really-
movie, and I still have the PS2 game.
I actually was super thrilled when I watched that movie as a little kid. And like I remember walking out of the movie theater and I was like, yeah, like I was like really hyped, and like I was super small at the time, so my dad was able to like kind of like pick me up and like jump me around like I was the Hulk.
Oh my god, that's so wholesome. Or like the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, dude. That was my
That
shit.
I actually enjoyed. Yes, that was really good. looking back, really bad. But at the time, really
oh my
good.
god. And then like I think that is the first time that I've ever seen like a sensory deprivation tank. And I had
Oh yeah,
he sleeps in one of those.
yeah.
Yeah, and I had no idea what the fuck it was. I was like, why is this man sleeping in water? Like that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, same.
That's so fucking stupid.
I thought I'm like that's a really weird bath. He's
Yeah,
taking.
yeah. But no, like he sleeps in like a separate sensory deprivation tank, and I'm like, oh my god, that makes a lot of sense.
I'll be honest, I didn't know
Wait,
that
why?
until like
Huh?
why does that make sense? He's blind, right?
Yeah,
That's the whole
but he
thing.
can see
he can.
because all of his other senses are like hyper enhanced, so like he can see sound
Oh.
waves.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a sensory deprivation tank. I don't know. Have you ever heard of what that is?
Yeah, I've got a story of an experience with something like
Oh
that.
well, yeah. So
Okay.
for those who don't know, I guess,
Yeah.
it would be a tank that's filled with water that has salt in it. The water is the same temperature as your skin,
Mhm.
so the salt in the water is supposed to keep you afloat without any effort, and the water is supposed to feel as if there's nothing there or something. I don't know. I've never been in one.
Yeah.
But they close the lid shut. The tank is completely dark and it's soundproof. So your mind will start like filling in the gaps where like all of like the natural senses are lacking. And like your mind will just start like filling in that gap. It's like a really introspective experience and like super super sick. It's like very meditative. But Nick, you said you had an
Yeah.
experience?
So it's not like actually that, but where I was living for like last year was well, basically my story is basically I was living in a place that had so little sound or temperature variation or whatever that when I would go to bed at night I would have like kind of weird fucked up experiences because it was basically the same thing.
Really?
Like in my house, it was dead silent. There was nothing going on. The temperature was like so like comfortable. Like once you were like in bed, it's like you couldn't really feel anything, and it was like kind of hard to tell. Like if you were asleep, it was kind of hard to tell if you were like asleep or awake or whatever, and you'd kind of just get like fucked up.
That sounds
Like
super sick.
it's kind of terrifying. It's like you could like kind of check out, like mentally check out a little bit,
Yeah.
just like by like being there. Because when there's nothing going on, like no sense of movement or sound or anything, it's like you kind of just like get like lost. And it's probably worse for me because I'm already kind of like a checked out kind of person. But it like it was like scary. And like when people have when people say stories historically of like, oh, like this guy like saw demons at the foot of his bed or whatever, it's like I could totally see how that could happen if like your environment is just like not if there's no
On that, I kind of on that note,
if that makes sense, if that makes any sense.
kind of on that note, it does totally make sense. Have any of you guys ever experienced sleep paralysis?
I was actually just about to bring
Yeah.
that up, and
No.
yes, I have.
I am.
Oh, several
Oh,
times.
like me too. On a like not a regular basis, but like a semi-frequently regular basis.
Mm.
But like, what's your experience like? Because and personally, I've never like I've always heard people talk about it, but I've never had the experience of like seeing a figure. I've never seen anything.
Having a fucking sleep
Yeah,
paralysis.
I've never
demon.
seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've seen the figures because sometimes it's been multiple. I've had it. Okay, so I've had sleep paralysis like that where you see things twice, and the other times have been I'm having like auditory hallucinations. So the first time it was like the shadowy figure standing over you, like looking at you, kind of thing. And the other time it was like several, like it was like around like my bed, like they were all like standing there, like looking at me. Both fucking freaky as shit. And the thing that about those dreams that really scared the crap out of me was I was screaming the entire time, but like no sound was coming out. So like I was completely, I couldn't talk or anything like that, but I was like full on screaming. And then the other times have been more recently where I've like been asleep in my apartment and I wake up and I hear footsteps like through my house. And I'm like, and at the time, I used to be a gun owner. I'm no longer a gun owner, but at the time I had my gun and I'd be like, you need to wake up right now. There's someone in your home, like trying to like fucking like murder you or something like that. Like you need to get ready. And I couldn't move or do anything. And I'm kind of like yelling at myself like, dude, wake up. And like eventually I could start getting motor function going, but it took an eternity, or at least it felt like it. Only to like wake up and like walk around my house and be like, there's no one here. Like,
That's fucking crazy. So, my experience with like sleep paralysis is very less horrifying. Yeah, dude, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and have to really, really have to pee. And then I just won't be able to move. And then I'll just be like, this is really annoying. And then I go back to bed.
Try again later.
Yeah, like nothing ever to that level of like, holy shit, I'm seeing stuff. It's always like I wake up and I'm like, man, I really have to pee. And then I'm just like, oh, fuck, I can't move. Okay, well, I guess I'll just go back to bed.
I feel like when that happens, you wake up and then like the mission failed thing pops up from like
You wet your bed.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
yeah, or like the whole like slow mo's like thing from Grand Theft
Oh,
Auto.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man. No, that was like so, like, yeah, no, I've never had any of that. That's absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah, I've had some pretty interesting dreams and shit like that. Dreams are fun. I actually really enjoy going into my dreamscape. It's a ride.
I actually have like problems with like my sleep. I am untested, but I'm fairly certain that I have sleep apnea. I have very loud snore. I sleep very like fragmented. I wake up feeling completely unrested. Really annoying. I was just talking to Vinny actually yesterday about how I woke up Friday, like literally yesterday morning, and I couldn't breathe. I straight up,
yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
yeah, I straight up like sat right up in my bed, and I was just like, like I was just catching my breath, like I could not breathe at all, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm choking. Like, I'm just, like, choking. Like, I was, 1 second I was asleep. The next second, I'm choking in my bed. I was just, like, freaking the fuck out. Ran to my bathroom. Like, I was just, like, kind of, like, trying to hyperventilate. And it just led me to, like, purging. Like, I just fucking threw up. Like, all over. Yeah, like, I just threw up in my fucking bathroom. And then I started being able to breathe. After I threw up.
Well, yeah, definitely looking to get into a CPAP, dude.
No, 100%.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I also think that also had to do with like something that I might have eaten. But I know my girlfriend has told me like, yeah, dude, I've like heard you stop breathing a couple of times, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, what's up? Let's not die.
Yeah, for real, dude.
It's kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had that kind of experience. That sounds very rough.
Crazy. But even like going to bed last night was like super horrifying. Go ahead.
Yeah, because my dad has like, or at least he had like really, really bad sleep apnea, and I spent like many years like listening to snoring through the walls and shit, and it would like drive me insane. But he got the like a CPAP machine, and now it's just like so much better. Like I can only imagine like it gives you a lot more energy, just like feeling like super rested all the time, and
Yeah,
like all that
I'll look
stuff.
into that.
And it's also just easier on like the other people.
Yeah.
But in the
Doesn't that
meantime,
machine make
maybe,
fucking
like-
noise?
It does,
Um,
but it's more consistent than snoring. So it's like
Right.
it's easier to sort of block out.
yeah.
But in
It's
the
also
meantime, there's also breathe right strips, which I use because like my nose is kind of messed up, and I think they help like a lot. But that's
I know,
because I have
like,
a deviated septum.
like a big thing. Like when it comes to like, I know my mom went on a CPAP machine for a little while because I think she has like a form of sleep apnea. Not like it's not super super severe. I know she couldn't like keep using it. It was like kind of like rough for her. I think it just wasn't comfortable, or whatever. It's just not something, not like a habit she wanted to build up. And like I think. Oh wait, crap! Hang on. I think my thought just actually went right out my head. Christ.
Oh, your mom had a
oh, yeah.
CPAP machine, but it was like kind of rough for her.
Yeah. I guess like, oh yeah. So yeah, it was kind of rough for her for a little bit, but like I don't think she uses it anymore. And I think the thing about them really is just like that initial that initial acclimation is acclimation. That's the word I was looking for. Jesus. But like once you get past that, like I cannot imagine not getting like that kind of restful sleep. There's like days where like I'll like wake up like randomly like through the night a couple times, and the next morning I'm just like completely wrecked. So like that's just, oh my god, I just can't imagine that.
I mean, I also have like a really bad time like waking up. I just like sleep through alarms and shit like that, which I think is probably because I'm not feeling rested. You know, so my body tries to like, I don't know, man. The more I talk about this, the more I realize that I should probably get on this shit. Like,
yeah, dude. Like sleep is so important. Like honestly, like when I was, I actually kind of remember when this started to happen to me. I was a very depressed, like adolescent, you know, and I still deal with depression now, but like nowhere near as bad. And a big part of that, quite honestly, was I was staying up until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, going to bed and waking up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to go to school. I was getting like not even like 2 or 3 hours. And like, yeah, like that really, really fucked me up like real bad. Cause I completely flipped my sleep. So I wouldn't even feel tired until like 2 in the morning. I go to bed, wake up, go to school, sleep through school, and then come home, crash on the couch for like an hour and be back up like and ready to go. Call of Duty, here I come.
Call of Duty, yeah, dude. Fucking Modern Warfare.
Dude, I could headshot people with the Uzi across map, and they would accuse me of cheating, and I wasn't, and they got mad a lot.
Yeah.
I just used to like not go to school, so that's what I did.
That too.
But yeah, no, my fuck, dude. I tell people this all the time. I think my freshman year of high school, I got 0 credits. Yeah, dude, we like never showed up. Like me and my brother were fucking bad kids, I guess.
Wait, so what did you like get like a GED or something?
No,
Like, what did
I got my high school diploma, but it took me 5 years, 4.5 really.
Okay.
So I lived in a pretty shitty town until I was like 14. I think halfway through my sophomore year of high school. And I'm talking about like very, very, very poor like neighborhood. Like a lot of crime, overpopulated school system where you could just skip and nobody would notice. So we would spend like our youth not going to school, just hanging out, just being delinquents. Then halfway through my sophomore year, my house got robbed. We think it was by one of like the people that we used to like hang out with. And that kind of caused my parents to be like, yeah, let's just move. We went from being in a very, very low income area to very, very like upper middle class area where if you miss one period, they'll call your parents. So that kind of caused me to get my shit together. And I just needed to like make up a little bit of the courses that I missed whenever I was a freshman.
How does that adjustment work out? Because that's like,
Yeah, it's like 180, dude.
It was
like
super fucking
180.
wild. I remember, so I guess like it was culture shock, and my brother has this really good story where I think it was like his second day of school, and at our new high school, and He said that he was walking down the hallways and somebody stepped on the back of his shoe. And back where we used to live, that would be a sign of like somebody fucking with you. You know what I mean? It's like, I'd hate to akin it to a jail, but like it was almost like that, where people would mess with you to see if you were going to take it. And then like if you took it, like you were a target. And if you stood up for yourself, like they knew not to fuck with you.
Holy shit, that's literally like jail.
So my brother was walking down the hallways and he got like the back of his shoe stepped on. He was like, well, fuck, I guess like it's go time. And like he drops his book bag, he drops his jacket, and he turns around and he like steps up to like a jock, like literally like a jock. And then the dude's just like, oh shit, dude, like my bad, like I didn't mean to. And then, like, he literally was like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't mean to step on your shoes." And then he was just like, "Oh, fuck, like I'm not where I was before," you know.
Damn.
I remember that, like, it was like a really eye-opening experience once where my brother has gotten like his phone stolen out of his hands. Like mid-use, like he's sitting at at a lunch table using it, and somebody just comes up and just snatched it out of his hands as he was texting. But the most impressive one for me was, I think I was in the hallways with my girlfriend, and she let me borrow her iPod, and I had it in my pocket, and like obviously I had the cable going up. I had one ear pod in when I was like talking. I was literally standing next to her. Some dude just was running down the hall, ran by me and snatched it out of my pocket without stopping. And like literally like pulled it out of my pocket, pulled it out of my ear and grabbed it. And I remember having this like really weird come to Jesus moment where she looked at me and she was like, "Do something, that's my iPod." And I was like a derpy 14-year-old, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna run after this dude and I'm gonna get my ass kicked, but am I gonna look like a bitch in front of my girlfriend? So I remember looking at him and like just chasing after him like as hard as I could. I just started running after him, and I remember thinking like, if I catch up to him, he's gonna beat the shit out of me. Like no doubt about it. And then like we were running through like the offices, and like a secretary was like, "No running in the hall." And I was just like, "He stole my iPod." And like I just kept running. And then he looked behind and he saw that I was chasing him, and he just like left it. He like dropped it. Like he literally dropped it and like kept going. Yeah. What the fuck? Like it was just like wasn't worth his time. Like if I was chasing after him, it wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? And then like I grabbed it, and then I was walking back, and the secretary was like, "Do you want to file a report or anything? Like, do you want to do something? Do you want to say anything?" And I was just like, no, because I knew that was just gonna make me more of a target. And like I remember for like the rest of my time at that school, I would see that dude around, and we would make eye contact, and he would never fuck with me. Yeah. But I was chasing after him, and I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking get my ass kicked. Like, this is the first ass whooping that I'm going to experience in my life. It's crazy.
Damn, dude.
Shout out Northern Illinois. What the fuck is up? I'm assuming high school was not nearly as eventful for you guys.
Not like that. I mean, I used to get picked on and shit, but I wouldn't get shit on my hands.
Dude, I was a cringy little cringe.
Oh, dude, I was super teeny weenie.
I wasn't seen. Here's the thing. I wasn't a teeny weenie. I was just cringe. Like there was like, it wasn't like I was a part of like any kind of like
click.
Yeah, like I mean, like I had like my group of friends or whatever, and we kind of were just like, "No, fuck everyone else." Like straight up, I was just like, I was just an asshole. Like let's be real here, I was just a dick to people. Like there was nothing. Like I was very surprised. Like looking back, that I actually had friends. Like quite seriously.
Damn, dude.
No, like I was straight up. I was a bully. I was not even the type of bully that was like big and strong. No, I was the type of like wussy little bully who would like make fun of you, and then like if you like stepped up to me, I'd be like, "No, dude, it's fine. Like we're cool. We're just sticking around, right?"
Oh, it's
Like
just
I'd
a
back
prank,
out of that
bro.
shit. So
It's just a prank,
it's just a prank, dude. No, like I was like, oh my god, I'm so happy I grew out of that person. Holy shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a weird time, right? Like I don't really think many people would be very happy with themselves at like 14, 13.
No way.
No, of course not. Like that's the whole point of growing up, you know, is be able to reflect back and be like, okay, like, you know, like you're a kid. Like you can only like put things together so far, you know?
Like, well, now I'm an adult making an adult version of the same mistakes that I was making back then.
Right. Not fucking
yeah.
high school.
No,
sick.
just
What about
just
you, Nick?
me? Okay. I was like ultra super involved in school, like academic. And besides that, I was like kind of invisible.
So you were a fucking narc, dude.
I was a narc and a half.
Fucking nerdy ass narc, huh?
This sounds like a
Serious,
nerdy chat here.
serious question, Nick.
I-
Were you a narc?
Yeah.
On the record.
On the record? Off the record? Everyone cut the recordings. Everyone cut the recordings.
Okay.
Oh, it's
definitely
totally cut,
It's not
dude.
cut.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Nick, we're not recording. Nick, are you a narc, dude? We're not recording.
In,
You can tell me. Dude.
in terms of actually like narking on people, no, but I was like definitely like a lame, like I was like
Good.
academic nerd,
Goody
super
goody
nerd.
two. Goody two shoes.
You heard it here, guys. Nick's a fucking narc.
Bro, I told the teacher that the kids were drinking on the weekend.
Okay. Here's
Could you
how.
imagine?
Here's how we'll know. Nick, did you take part in senior skip day?
No. Actually, maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? What do you mean maybe?
Because whatever
You were
we
there, you
did
weren't
wasn't
there.
very. We might have like gone for like IHOP or something. It wasn't very memorable if we did. I try and block
I know
out
our
all
school
of,
straight
like,
up.
middle school and high school from my memory.
I know, like my school straight up just said like if you do senior skip day, you're not walking on graduation.
That's super funny.
Like
They followed through.
No, like yeah, like people who didn't like no one fucking skipped. No one did it. I think like
Really?
maybe a couple of like the super like pop kids like did, but they like practically blew the teachers. So you know they got away
Pop
with it. The populace.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. I remember back in my high school, like the second high school I went to, we like a whole group of people got busted for having an alternative prom, like
what?
like
Oh,
a
like
separate prom. Yeah, that was like funded. Like they funded it themselves because the school was like, "Hey, man, you can't grind on people. Like, there's no grinding allowed." So they were like, "Okay, we'll just like have our own prom with like blackjack and hookers type shit."
Damn.
They didn't have, yeah,
That's
they
fucking
didn't
rad,
actually
dude.
have hookers, but like they had their own prom.
Oh,
They ended up getting in trouble at the school for it, which is like wild because it's like, why is this?
it's not
Yeah,
even
why
on
is
like
the school able to punish you for what you do outside of?
like basically you're not going to a voluntary event to have your own like unrelated event that's just called prom.
Prom
like
too.
like yeah, like that's fucked. That's real fucked.
It was a whole thing. It was a whole shebang. Stupid either way.